As decades passed, ghost hunters, psychics, and paranormal investigators all flocked to the Stanley Hotel.
The most haunted hotel in America. The Stanley Hotel's dark secrets. Intro narrator. Slow, cinematic, suspenseful tone. They say some hotels are remembered for their luxury, others for their beauty, and some for their history. But very few are remembered for their ghosts. Tonight, we step into the shadows of one of the most haunted places in America. A place where whispers still linger, footsteps echo in the night, and the past refuses to let go. This is the Stanley Hotel, a mountain resort in Estes Park, Colorado. A place so haunted that it inspired Stephen King's legendary horror novel, The Shining. This is not just a hotel. This is a story of love, tragedy, echoes of the dead, and secrets buried deep within its shining white walls. These are the Stanley Hotel's dark secrets. Act 1. The birth of a haunted hotel. The story begins in 1903, when inventor Freeland Oscar Stanley, co-creator of the famous Stanley steamer automobiles, was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Doctors told him he had little time left. His wife Flora, desperate to save him, brought him to the fresh, clean mountain air of Colorado. Against all odds, Freeland's health improved. He was given a second chance at life. Out of gratitude, and perhaps ambition, he decided to leave behind a legacy. He would build a grand hotel, a place of elegance and healing, something the mountains had never seen before. By 1909, the Stanley Hotel opened its doors. It stood proudly against the Rocky Mountains, its white walls glistening like a palace. Guests came for music, laughter, and luxury. Yet even as it shone in daylight, the night revealed something far darker. Act 2. Early strange occurrences. It didn't take long before guests began whispering about strange things. The sound of a piano playing by itself in the dead of night. A woman's laughter echoing through empty halls. Shadows that seemed to move on their own. The source of the piano music was often traced to the grand piano in the ballroom, once played by Flora Stanley herself. Guests claimed to hear the faint sound of keys, even when the piano lid was firmly closed. Staff would check the room, only to find it empty. Other times, guests would complain of children running up and down the hallways, giggling in the darkness. But when doors opened, the halls were empty, silent, and cold. Room 217, the cursed room. Among all the rooms, one stands out above the rest. Room 217. On a stormy night in 1911, a chambermaid named Elizabeth Wilson entered the room to light the gas lamps. Unknown to her, gas had leaked throughout the room. The moment she struck the match, the room exploded. The floor beneath her collapsed. The blast injured her badly, but she survived. Elizabeth returned to work after recovering, but her spirit never left. Guests who stay in room 217 often report their belongings being unpacked, clothes folded neatly or shoes lined up carefully, though no one touched them. Single men have claimed to feel an unseen presence lying in bed beside them. Lights flicker and doors lock on their own. Elizabeth is still there, doing her duty. It was also in room 217 where Stephen King and his wife, Tabitha, stayed one cold October night in 1974. The hotel was almost empty. King wandered its endless corridors alone, uneasy in the silence. That night, he dreamed of his young son, being chased through the hallways by a monstrous presence. When he woke, the idea for The Shining was born. Act 4, the fourth floor children. The fourth floor is infamous. Guests report the sound of children playing, running, and laughing in the night. One woman staying there said she woke up to find a little boy standing by her bed. He whispered, "Are you my mommy?" Before she could scream, he vanished. Another guest claimed she heard dozens of children giggling, only to open her door and find the hallway deserted. Act 5, the concert hall and the spirits. The concert hall, built by Freeland for Flora, holds its own secrets. Staff report hearing Flora still playing her piano, the music drifting softly through the empty building. Another spirit, known as Paul, is said to still enforce the hotel's curfew. Guests exploring late at night often hear a stern male voice shouting, "Get out!" even though no one is there. Others have seen shadows move across the stage, curtains shifting, though no breeze exists. Act 6, dark secrets and unspoken tragedies. Beyond the famous stories, whispers persist of hidden tragedies. Suicides that were never reported publicly, mysterious deaths of staff. Some believe underground tunnels beneath the hotel hold secrets. used by workers to move unseen and perhaps now by something else. Psychics claim the Stanley Hotel sits on a vortex of spiritual energy, magnifying the presence of the dead. Every fear, every whisper, every lingering soul, amplified. The ghost hunters arrive. As decades passed, ghost hunters, psychics, and paranormal investigators all flocked to the Stanley Hotel. Television crews from shows, like Ghost Hunters and Most Haunted, filmed inside its haunted walls, capturing shadows, voices, and chilling evidence. Some investigators reported being touched, shoved, or whispered to in rooms that should have been empty. The hotel embraced its reputation. Tours were created to guide visitors through its haunted halls. Guests came not only for the beauty of Estes Park, but for the thrill of experiencing the paranormal. The Stanley became a living museum of ghostly encounters. Yet with every tour, new stories emerged. A guest would faint on the staircase after feeling hands pushing them. A child would scream after seeing someone who wasn't really there. Phones and cameras malfunctioned when pointed at certain hallways. The legacy of fear. What makes the Stanley Hotel so terrifying is not just one ghost or one tragedy. It's the collection of all its stories woven together. Every hallway has a whisper. Every room has a secret. Every corner